those who are fighting the hardest. Connection unstable. I am used to that. You want to take a look? No, my hair's puffy and I look crazy, so I'm probably not worth listening to. Here, we'll make my hair look intentionally crazy. That way, those of you who want to pretend I'm some fucking wingnut who doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, you can. All right, beautiful. Does that look good to you? Cool. So, we got innocent people being murdered by police, right? And then we got Donald Trump trying to say that these people are basically spitting on the name of George Floyd, while in the same paragraph going to retaliate against these people by killing more of them, by sending soldiers to go shoot more of them. Yeah, that's totally the solution to the problem, isn't it, Donald fucking Trump? Now, I made a video a while back for the George Floyd thing, matter of fact, two of them actually, about situations exactly like this. It's because I saw it coming, because I like history. It's easy to tell people's mentalities based on what they're going through and where they're at, as long as you're able to put yourself in their shoes. But are you? Are you willing to put yourself in their shoes? Let's make sure this all looks crazy here for you. Here, we'll put one side down and the other side up. That'll really get to your OCD. Fuck, that's getting to my OCD. I'm sorry. All right, that's much better. We're dealing with some very delicate but serious situations. There is not a delicate approach for this. There's really not. It's already gotten too far past that point. Where the government's solution to people being murdered by police is to send the National Guard in to do the same thing to the same people, same group. Well, holy fuck, when in hell is that ever going to work? That is such a screwed up, bass-backwards way of doing it. A lot of people keep telling me, Donald Trump really is a good man. I'm thinking to myself, all right, either he's a good man and he's just completely fucking separated from reality, has no fucking clue what the hell's going on, or he's a bad person who's twisted and manipulative and doing all sorts of fucked up shit. There was a short period of time there where I thought, maybe this is the rich sumbitch who actually cares about people and he's trying to become a martyr by showing all of the fucked up shit. By showing it firsthand. Hey, see, let me show you exactly how it is. Even if I gotta go down. But after recent events and the things he said about going and shooting protesters, I'm not comfortable with that. Now, then we gotta look at the fact there are police officers now. Thank goodness! Police officers who are loud and proud. Also, Donald Trump wants to talk about sending the military down there armed to shoot protesters. And meanwhile, the National Guard that they sent with just shields put down their shields, just as Colin Kaepernick put down his knee. Colin Kaepernick of dollars, millions and millions of dollars to fight this exact same fight years ago. I'll stop being friends over because they thought it was okay to say that a soldier should punch Colin Kaepernick in the throat for not standing for a national anthem that, well, this country does not include him in. Yet you look all the way back to the Revolutionary War, War of 1812. Our sailors, historically, in the United States Navy, were black. Yet you want them to go to the back of the bus. And I can get that. very much, because I'm going through the same stuff, but I'm told that I have to go to the back of the bus. I've dealt with more of it, but I got to go to the back of the bus. I got more dead loved ones. I got to go to the back of the bus. I got more situations where I have been abused and assaulted by these officers, but I got to go to the back of the bus. Well, I'm not going to tell you to go to the back of the bus. I'm not going to tell Teresa Massilia that she's got to go to the back of the bus. I'm going to share her fucking story. I'm not going to tell Christine Kelly that she needs to go to the back of the bus. I'm going to share her fucking story. I'm not going to tell Mark Swanigan he's got to go to the back of the bus. I'm definitely not going to tell the family of Selena Not Afraid that they got to go to the back of the bus. Or the family of Frida Noses Gun. You know, the last time that I ever saw Natalie Bollinger was my birthday, October 18th, 2016. And you know what else happened that day? That was the day Frida Noses Gun disappeared from Washington State, other side of the country. She's from the Hardin area, same as Selena Not Afraid, same as many, many others. There's got to be a way that we can work together. I mean, when something terrible happens to a group that's not your own, you make excuses why they deserve it because they're not going through as much as they are. We're all going through so much. And a lot of other countries don't understand how much we have to pay, or how much we have to pay in to be falsely accused, how much is taken from us. Most people around the world think every American is rich. We make more money, so we must have more money. No. When you can buy a 20-ounce soda pop in one country for 5 cents, and it costs you $1.89 in this country, you're spending a lot more on those goods too, aren't you? Is the American dollar really worth what they say that it is worth in these other countries? If these other countries can get things that we can buy here for $2, $3, $4, and they can get them for a nickel, literally a nickel. We got a lot of call centers that are being sent out to foreign countries, and I'm not against giving foreign people jobs, but when it comes to communications, yes, that needs to be done locally. If I am in India and I'm having a tech issue in India, then I want somebody who is from India to talk to. I don't want some American reading a script with an accent so thick I can barely understand it. Like, let's imagine I did live in India and I got to learn English over in England, or I got to go to school and learn English in school, which happens a lot, or used to a lot. During the 80s, they still taught English in school in India. But here's the thing, that's English people. Now you get somebody that's got a real thick Southern accent, you're trying to figure out what the hell they're saying. Well, for me, I can understand what a person with a thick Southern accent is saying most of the time. And even a lot of these people at the call centers, I can understand them. But that doesn't mean I can always understand them. And there's a lot of times where I can tell they can't understand me. And it's one of those situations where our government, for every dollar that we are paid, including the money that we are taxed, whoever employs us is paying an equal amount of money to the government already before your taxes are taken away from you. The American dollar is taxed at every single stage along the way, and all of that money, where does it end up? What do we spend it on? Let me make sure my hair looks crazy still. I don't want you guys thinking I'm sane or anything stupid like that. Now we get to see that, you know, even though there are officers who, they may be guilty of taking part in it, maybe not. Chances are pretty good that they have covered for the wrongdoing of another officer. Oftentimes, even not even knowing that they're doing so. Oftentimes, when an officer brings in a suspect, the other officers want to believe that officer. They're a fellow officer. You don't want to believe the person who they're bringing in. You want to believe that officer, and you're going to make your decisions based on what the officer says. You've already pointed your questioning, anything that you're going to ask that person that they brought in, you've already pointed your questioning in a particular direction just because they were brought in by an officer. We got black protesters protecting officers who got separated from the rest of their group. We literally have the people who are being shot protecting a person from the group that is shooting them. Meanwhile, police are grabbing children and old people out of crowds and hauling them to the ground or shoving them to the ground. You guys are all up in arms about that, aren't you? What about Waylon Lolatai? Waylon Lolatai did that in Denver before he ever assaulted me. Before he ever assaulted those 6 people after me. If they had done something about him in Denver, he never would have assaulted me. If they'd have listened to me and done something about it then, he wouldn't have been involved in the Michelle Rodriguez situation or the Sammy Leon Lawrence IV situation or the Zed Atkinson situation. Out of the 6 people who were assaulted after me, 3 of them were white and 3 of them were not. All of them were assumed homeless. The 3 who are still homeless are white. The 3 who got help with housing or already had housing were the minorities. Michelle Rodriguez was the only one out of the three minorities who was without a house when she was assaulted. Sammy Leon Lawrence IV was assaulted because of the way that he looked. He didn't look like he played basketball for CU. That's why he was targeted. Same thing with Zed Atkinson. He's got dreads. He kind of looks like, well, to the street people. White police kill a lot of white men. They kill a lot of people of a lot of different colors. Selena Not Afraid. A lot of people want to talk about how terrible it is that she died. She had a twin sister who committed suicide at the age of 11. She had an older sister who was ran over at the Billings airport a year earlier. And she had a brother who was murdered by police. This is a Native American in Montana, Hardin, Montana. I made a video. I want you to type in the missing women of Hardin, Montana. You'll see a video that I made about 10 months before Selena Not Afraid disappeared. Her family has known a lot of tragedy. Her entire family. Not only that, that's just her immediate siblings' deaths. We're not talking about aunts and uncles and extended family and all the things that they've had to go through. And yeah, I understand there's a lot of things that are happening where they're not doing anything because it's a white man. They're not fighting for his rights because he's a white man. But at the same time, we've also got rich white people that we're all getting blamed for. Like all white people are rich. You see this upper middle class white kid who gets off for murdering people because he's a white kid, right? And we do see that often. The parents fight for his rights and the lawyers go, all right, well, fuck, we're going to have to do our job. And then we're going to have to try to get him off on a technicality or some bullshit like that. Meanwhile, he's probably going to get leniency because now it's all over the news. If it's an upper middle class white kid, yeah, they'll put that all over the fucking news, that poor white kid. And then we get to see the satire, the differences between when it happens to this black person and that white person. And they pick very specific situations. You want to intentionally avoid, if you're a black person trying to show the difference between situations. There are certain situations that you're going to want to avoid. You don't want to compare my situation to a black person's situation. You do not want to do that. You want to compare that black person's situation to a situation like Donald Trump's, because that'll show the divide. You show mine, you really show that, well, black people should be fighting for homeless rights too. There's a lot of black people who are homeless. But then there's a lot of the people that I personally see fighting for these rights more than anybody else in houses. I see homeless people fighting for these rights, for black people, for trans people, for women.